That didn't work.
This is my 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee with the 5.2-liter V8, and today I'll show you how to change the oil and reset the maintenance reminder. The oil I'll be draining out today has been run for about 5,600 miles over 38 months, and because I didn't change the filter last time, the current filter has been run for about 8,600 miles over 51 months. I'll also be collecting a sample of this oil to send to a lab for analysis, which I'll be going over in one of my next videos, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see those results. After 25 years and 208,000 miles, the Chrysler 318 motor is still running strong, but I always wonder how long it will last, so the lab analysis should be pretty insightful. I'm not sure if this motor burns oil, but it does have a slow leak and seems to lose about 3 quarts every 5,000 miles or so. I haven't been driving it that much lately, so I've been changing the oil once a year with a new filter every other time, but we learned in one of my recent oil analysis videos that it really doesn't need to be changed every year, so I've probably just been wasting oil. Anyway, changing the oil on this thing is pretty easy, so let's get to it. Here are the tools that I used for this job. Torque wrench, a couple socket wrenches, a couple socket extensions, 19mm socket, oil filter wrench, pliers, and a tiny flathead screwdriver. I didn't need a floor jack or jack stands because my Jeep is lifted, but you might need those too. For this job I also needed a rag, shop towels, safety glasses, a crush washer, gloves, a light, a creeper, a funnel, a catch pan, a new oil filter, and 6 quarts of 5W30 synthetic motor oil. There are links in the description for everything I used. I'll start by removing the oil cap before putting the catch pan in place and removing the drain plug. Funny story, I saw a trick in a short video where someone used a high-speed ratchet to remove the drain plug so fast that he didn't get oil on his hands or tools, so I thought I'd be really cool and try it out.
That didn't work.
Apparently, that trick doesn't work very well when you have a magnetic drain plug.
Wow, this is the worst. Oh, it's magnetic, so it's stuck up there. Oh my gosh. At least oil isn't bad for tools.
The oil filter is easy to reach, and sometimes I can remove it by hand, but when they're tight, this is my favorite type of oil filter wrench for getting them loose.
Extension. And socket wrench on the end, you can't see, but it's here. Alright, that was enough to loosen it. Pull that off carefully. And remove the oil filter. With the fluid catch pan in the right place.
Before installing the new filter, I like to fill them most of the way with fresh oil, but don't forget it has to be installed at an angle, so don't overfill it. And make sure to rub some fresh oil on the rubber O-ring. This will create a better seal and help the filter come off easily at the next oil change. Wipe the area clean, making sure the O-ring from the last filter isn't stuck to the engine block, and tighten the filter by hand. The magnetic drain plug picked up a small amount of metal shavings, but I don't think it's anything to be concerned about.
It could be worse.
The crush washer was really hard to remove this time, which I don't really remember happening before. You might have seen my video about reusing crush washers where I tested how much they actually get crushed, but this makes me want to film a sequel to that because this washer is much more deformed than the ones I tested on the Toyota Yaris.
That's on there pretty good. Never had a crush washer so stuck on before. This one's pretty crushed. I wonder what I torqued this thing to last time. I'll have to look it up. That thing is smashed. Yeah, that's not one that you'd want to reuse. Oh my gosh. Definitely replace that. That's as clean as I can get it. I think that's some burnt oil or something on the end of there. So that's not good. That's why the old one was so hard to get off. The new one's hard to get on. It's like it's not the right size.
But I made it the right size. Wipe the area clean and reinstall the drain bolt with a new crush washer. It should be torqued to 25 foot-pounds. The service manual calls for 5 quarts of oil, but this motor seems to need 6 quarts to read full on the dipstick now, so I had to go back to the store later for 1 more quart. I don't remember having to add an extra quart in the past, so I went to the ZJ Facebook group and asked the other Jeep owners if this was normal. About half the people said theirs takes 5 quarts, and the other half said 6 quarts. I'm still not sure why there would be so much variation, or how it's possible that this engine used to take 5 quarts but now it needs 6, so leave a comment if you have any theories. I suggest starting with 5 quarts, running the engine for about 30 seconds, and letting it rest for a few minutes before checking where you're at on the dipstick. Then add more oil as needed. Funny story, when I bought this Jeep, it had the wrong dipstick tube for whatever reason, so 5 quarts didn't even reach the dipstick, and it took me a couple years to figure out what the problem was. I eventually went to a junkyard and got the correct tube, and that solved the problem. Don't forget to replace the oil cap on top of the motor. Now I'll show you how to reset the onboard computer in your Jeep, assuming it still works. First, turn the ignition 2 clicks forward to the on position. Then tap the select button and hold the set button for a few seconds until the service reminder resets to 3,000 miles. Make sure to check back for the upcoming oil analysis video, but in the meantime, you can check out the analysis results I've already gotten for our other cars. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe for more of the best DIY videos on the internet. And until next time, just keep throwing money at it. Please recycle and reuse automotive fluids.
And then remove the oil filter.